Hey guys, my name is Kelly Dale and I'm owner of Off the Beaten Path in Forest City, North Carolina. Today, I'm going to start my series of quick and simple Christmas gifts that you can make for people this upcoming season. With it being about mid-October right now, it's a good time to get started on some of these projects so that way you can really have time to get some made, get them made for craft festivals, whatever you want to do. Just quick and simple projects. So today, I'm going to teach you how to make a triangle weave earring. Now, the earring, if you make it in colors, is absolutely gorgeous and can be worn, with any outfit. As it gets closer to Christmas, if you do these triangle weave earrings in like crystal AB colors or white opal colors, it really can turn into like a snowflake if you want it to have that look or that connotation. So these, if you do them in crystal ABs or white opal colors or even just chalk white colors, people could wear them December, January, and even the first part of February, if you wanted it to have that connotation. So basically, for each earring that you do, so for each single one, you're going to need 13 4mm or 6mm bicones. You can use either size. For the video, I'm going to use 6mm, but I have a sample to show you of the size of a 4mm, what it would look like. You're also going to need, for each earring, approximately 31 size 11 seed beads. So this is a good project where you can use up leftover seed beads that you have because you need just very minimal. You're going to need a pair of ear hooks, a needle. I use either a size 10 or a size 12. And then I use 8-pound fire line for the project. You get a good stiff earring with the 8-pound fire line, and you're less likely to be able to break your thread with the crystals that you stitch with. Now, you don't have to use crystals. You can use pearls or glass beads. The thing about the pearls or the glass beads, though, they are a round shape, and so whereas the bicones are going to fit good together at the joints, you may just have a little bit more bowed out look with the rounds or the pearls, but you can use them. So get your materials together and then let's get started, okay? Okay, the colors I'm going to use today, this is a 6mm and it's called Crystal Golden Flare. And it's a Preciosa bicone. And then I'm using a size 11 seed bead called Bronze Plum Iris. Now, the earring that you're going to make today looks like this. It's a very simple and fun triangle earring, and this is what my actual finished piece will look like. If you use the 4mm, this will be the difference in the size that you'll have. This being the 4 and this being the 6mm. So the 4s are really great for people who like very small earrings, whereas the 6s are for just people who don't mind having a bigger piece. So to get started, you're going to pick up one seed bead, one crystal, one seed bead, one crystal, one seed bead, and one crystal. Now, I'm going to hold these beads in my hand, and I'm going to pull down and leave just a little tiny tail. And I'm going to take my needle, and I'm going to come back through all those beads I added coming from the tail up. And hold your tail when you pull, so that way your tail doesn't come out. And I'm going to pull the threads so that they form a little circle like so. And then I'm going to take the two pieces and I'm going to tie them together in a couple of good knots. To get into position, I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come through the bicone right next to the knot. And I'm going to try and zoom in just a little so that you can maybe see it a little better. Okay, so I'm coming right through the bicone. Next thing is I'm going to pick up seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. So you'll have that right there. My thread, triangle weave is all about making circles, okay? It's kind of like right angle weave. So my thread's coming out this way. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come through that same bead going that way. So that way, when I pull it, my beads will have made a triangle there. And then I'm going to come through the seed bead and the bicone that I just added. And then the seed bead and the bicone. So basically I'm going through all of the beads that I just added. So again, I was exiting here and I went through the seed bead, the bicone, the seed bead, and the bicone. Now, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, bicone, seed bead. So I'm going to pick up that order of beads. This time my thread is coming out towards the center. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come around to make the circle. So now this is what we have, and I'm going to come right on through the seed bead and the crystal that I just added to get into position for the next step. So far I have 1, 2, 3 beads along the outside. So I'm going to pick up seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. This time my thread is exiting away from the center. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come back around to make my circle or my triangle. There's what we've got. To get into position for the next step, I'm going to go through the seed bead, the bicone, the seed bead, and the crystal. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 along the outside. I'm going to pick up seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. So there's what I've got picked up. My thread is exiting towards the middle. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come back through the same bead, coming towards the center to make my circle or my triangle. And now to get into position for the next step, I'm going to go through the seed bead and the bicone that I just added. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My earring has 6 outside beads. All I need to do is add this outside here. So I'm going to pick up a seed bead, a bicone, and a seed bead. And I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come down through, coming from the outside towards the center of the very first bicone that I threaded on over here. And this will be the one that we have not connected to. So now that puts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly like we need. But now we still have to connect. We haven't connected the center here. So we need to pick up a seed bead, and I'm coming out of this bead, and I'm going to come back to the bicone I was just coming out of, and that way now it's connected everywhere along the edge and then here along the center. So I need to come back to the center so that I can go through these beads and pull them a little tighter. So I'm going to go through the seed bead, the bicone, and the seed bead that I just added, and then I'm going to come through one of the center crystals there to get to the middle. Now I'm going to go through all 6 of these seed beads here in the center just a couple of times, just to pull them together and make them look a little better so they're not spaced so far apart. See how much better the center looks now? Okay, now it doesn't matter which seed bead you come out of as long as you go around through the circle. Once you exit out of a seed bead, come through the crystal right where you're coming out at, going towards the outside, and then go through a seed bead and a crystal. Now what we want to do, we're done with the actual earring part, and now we want to make the hanger for the top. So I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads. 4. Then I'm going to pick up 1 bicone and then 6 seed beads. I'm going to let the beads drop down, and I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come back down through the bicone and then 1 seed bead right after the bicone, coming back towards my earring part. And that will make me a loop here on top so that I can add my ear hook. Then I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come back through that same crystal I'm coming out of. I started my loop here, so I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come through that same one, so that way when I pull, now it puts my hanger right above the bicone there. Now I go back through and I reinforce this a couple of times. And reinforcing just means going back through all the beads that you just added. So I'm going back through the 4 seed beads, the bicone, through the 6 I added here on the top, and if you want a bigger hanger, like you want to actually make this into a pendant, you can add more beads here to make a bigger loop. That's always a good fun thing to do too. And if you want to make it bigger for a pendant style, you could bump up to an 8mm crystal and a size 8 seed bead, and that would be really pretty also. Now, once I'm finished reinforcing, this is what I've got. And I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to do a couple of half hitch knots. So I'm going to come under the thread between my bicone and my seed bead, leave myself a little loop, stick the needle through the loop, and pull to make a little knot. And then I stitch through a few beads and do the same thing somewhere else in the piece. I normally put a couple of good knots in here. So again, I'm going under the thread between my crystal and my seed bead. I'm going to pull, leave myself a little loop, and then go through. And then I'm going to stitch through a bead or two, and I'm going to trim off my excess thread, and then I'm going to trim off my little tail. So now I have the finished actual earring. And what I'll do is I'll use a pair of pliers Here is my ear hook I want to use, and I'm going to bend the loop straight up, thread on the ear hook, and then close it so that when I finish, now I have a beautiful pair of earrings. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video this week, and I hope that you really enjoy making these earrings. I know I do, and actually I made a pair of these earrings to go with a set that I made for a girl named Stephanie out in Texas. So Stephanie, if you're watching, hello, and I hope you enjoy and you can make some of these. I'd also like to say hello to everybody who has come and visited my store in the last few weeks. I greatly appreciate it. You don't know how much I enjoyed meeting you guys. And if you guys or anybody else is ever around, be sure and stop in the store and say hey to me. I love to meet people and actually meet some of the people who contact me through Facebook and Etsy and things like that. If you're not a friend on our Facebook page, be sure and go to our address, which is listed below, so that you can see all the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. You can check out our Etsy store. It's a fantastic place. Anything that I normally put on the videos, we put for sale up on our Etsy site. And you can also check out our website, which is offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. You have to put in the beadstore.com. I've had a couple of people contact me who have tried to go to Off the Beaded Path, and that is a spam website. They are not associated with us. Don't know who they are, but that is not our website. Ours is offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. So, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and be sure and come back next week because I'm going to show you how to make the ring that everybody likes so much, and going to throw in a couple of new Spanish words next week. I'm trying to learn a little bit of Spanish so that I can talk to all of our Spanish-speaking viewers, so be ready for that. I hope you're ready because I'm not. So anyways, you guys have a blessed week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.